everybody. Welcome to church. We got about 5 minutes before the service starts, so here are some church-appropriate dance moves you can do whenever the Spirit moves you. So get on up and let's sweat to some scriptures. Or maybe not, or just let's go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure it's on the face. See it on the face. Yeah. Bring it together. Here we go. Let it go. You take the stone, you let it go. You're unhindered by armor. Let that elbow sway. Elbow, 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 elbow. Okay. One of my personal favorites. Resurrection. You gotta get down to get back. Keep working it, guys. Keep working. You're doing great. I'm doing great. I'm getting a little tired. Crushed it. Crushed it. You gotta crush it. Crushed it. We gotta stomp hard. Stomp hard. Stomp hard. You're crushing it. Crushing it. Crushing it. Okay. Good break there. Good break. Good job, guys. Here we go. Ready? Get that whip going. Scare those tax collectors. Those merchants. Yeah, those merchants. Make sure you look afraid. And this is salt. You look back and salt. Salt, salt. Salt, 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 salt. Oh boy. You're kind of getting to it. You're doing great, everybody. Oh, almost. Okay, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left. Here we go. Pull it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wrestle with God and he hits your hip. You'll walk like this for the rest of your life. But that's okay, because you got his blessing. 2 minutes left. No longer. I'm gonna go for the bucket. No! I'm not gonna puke. Okay. Sharp the knife. Ride the horse up the mountain with the knife. Put your boy in the back. Hoist it up! No! Hoist it up! Abraham, no! Hoist it up! Abraham, no! 130 guys! We can do this! Okay, this one's important. The meekness is important. All right, 1 minute, guys. We're doing great. Keep it meek, but then watch this. This is not meek. Coming at the end with swords. Swords. Cut down the enemy. Flame them dead. Flame them dead. Flame them dead. Whew. Whew. Yeah, there. You do it. This one's important too. We're sowing the seeds. Here we go. Sowing. Make sure you hit that. Fertile ground. Stay away from the grass. Watch your back. No, God's got it for you. Watch your back. No, God's got it for you. I don't know much more I can do this. You're gonna have to take it for me. On the last push. Literally. Samson. 14 the pillar. 14. Okay, guys, we don't have to start. Let's just start the service.
and yes, we are doing it a little bit different tonight than what we have because I am up here all by myself. My family did not make the trip up with me tonight like I was thinking they were going to, and that's okay though because we've got it all set up. We've got the webcam. We've got everything ready to rock and roll. So we're going to have a lot of fun tonight with our 252 and our First Look kiddos. So if you're watching us right now, stay with us the whole time. It's only going to be about 15 or 20 minutes. That's not a huge commitment. If you are watching us during the week, that's cool as well. So if you're watching this as a recording on either Facebook or YouTube, that's cool also, because we would love to hear from you. So let us know that you're here. Let us know you're watching, and let us know where you're watching from, because we would love to know if you're watching us from Stuttgart, Umphrey, DeWitt, Humnoke, Casco, you name it. Maybe you're watching us from the Malvern area right now, trying to peek behind the curtain to see what we do with our children's ministry at Stuttgart Harvest Church. That's great as well. We want to know where you're watching from. Go ahead right now, hit the share button on this, get it in front of as many people as possible, and we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Before we get started, I was doing some thinking. So, by the way, this is for our 252 or school-age children, as well as for our First Look preschool-age children. We're going to start out, though, with our school-age children tonight, and I was thinking, if you're watching us right now, I was just kind of thinking as I was sitting here, if I had a superpower, if I had a superpower, what type of superpower would I like to have? And I kind of pulled up, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this moved over here. I had the idea, if I could have a superpower, what would it be? And those were the four options that popped up to me. These were the four superpowers. So mind reading, the ability to read minds, the ability to be invisible, the ability to kind of teleport, just kind of show up all of a sudden, or the ability to fly. If I could have a superpower, what superpower would I have? And I think for me, it would be teleportation. I think I'd go with teleportation. I don't know about you, though. So what type of superpower? If you could have any superpower, well, those four superpowers, I guess. If you could have one of those four superpowers, what would it be? Would it be mind reading, invisibility, teleportation, or would it be flying? So let us know if you could pick a superpower. What kind of superpower would you have? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pop that off there. We got a lot of fun planned tonight. Of course, we're in a brand new, week two, I guess, of a new topic here in 252, and it is all about this thing called focus. That's our theme, focus. Take a closer look, and everything is revolving around this life app right here, faith. We are talking about faith in 252, trusting in what you can't see because of what you can see. Trusting in what you can't see because of what you can see. So because we have this awesome written record of individuals like Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul, James, we've got all of these examples. The book of Hebrews tells us about some of the old covenant heroes of the faith. And because we have a written record of things that have happened and how God has worked in the lives of followers of Jesus, then I can have faith because of what has already happened and because of what has already been written down. So I'm going to throw that up there one more time, that faith definition. Trusting in what you can't see because of what you can see. And then our Bible verse for the month of June, of course, comes from, there it is, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance of what we do not see. Faith is confidence. And again, it's kind of crazy to think that faith and confidence, we don't put those two things together, faith and confidence. We kind of think like, blind faith, but actually faith is confidence because of what's already happened and because of what Matthew told us about what Jesus did while he was on earth, and what Mark told us, and what Luke told us, probably through the eyes of Peter, and what John told us, and James, and Paul, and of course looking back into the Old Covenant. We can have confidence because of what has already happened, and that's what faith is. And we've got a really cool example of faith tonight, the Bible story that we're going to jump into, and it's really the story of a man by the name of Saul. Now, some of us know who Saul really is, but of course, he has his name changed. And what we're going to talk about tonight, or the Bible story we're going to go over tonight, is that experience that Saul had with Jesus when he became the person we know of as Paul. probably the greatest church planter that's ever lived. He wrote a lot of the New Covenant. And so we're going to hear a story tonight about this man named Saul, who became Paul, who becomes the greatest church planter that ever lived, and also who wrote most of our New Covenant. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up right now. And you just guys watch this great story and a great example of our life app for this month, Faith.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Acts, chapter 9, verses 1 through 9.
If anyone was set up for the good life, it was Saul of Tarsus.
Greetings.
Though Saul's family was Jewish, he was also born a Roman citizen. Throughout his life, he was known by 2 different names.
You may call me Saul or Paul.
As a young man, Saul was sent to Jerusalem to study with the famous Rabbi Gamaliel.
Let's see. You have achieved 100% in classical literature, 111% in philosophy, and in ethics, 99%.
I vow to do better.
Saul became a Pharisee like his father before him. He carefully studied God's law and prayed 3 times a day.
Dear God, help me follow your laws 100% perfectly.
Like the other religious leaders in Jerusalem, though, Saul was caught off guard by the events that surrounded the life and death of Jesus.
Good riddance. Now that fool can't try to overturn God's laws anymore.
Haven't you heard? Jesus' follower says he's returned to life.
They've seen Jesus?
They've seen Jesus.
Those riffraff will slink away soon enough.
Against all odds, the followers of Jesus didn't fade away. In fact, the numbers began to grow.
5,000? You're telling me that 5,000 people are following the way of a dead man?
Well, technically, they think he's alive.
Not helping.
The religious leaders in Jerusalem did everything they could to squash the new movement. They even arrested a leader among the Jesus followers named Stephen. After telling lies about him, they dragged him outside the city.
This man is a disgrace.
Saul stood by and held the coats of the men who picked up stones and threw them at Stephen until they killed him.
If Stephen had just let go of this Jesus nonsense, he wouldn't have had to die.
It's terrible. I heard people are following the way of Jesus in other cities too.
What? Inconceivable.
Saul quickly became known for hunting down people who believed in Jesus. When he discovered that some Jews in Damascus were following Jesus, he went straight to the high priest.
This Jesus thing is spreading everywhere.
I'm aware.
They think he's alive.
#yup.
Someone should do something.
I hope you have something constructive to say.
Give me letters to the synagogues in Damascus so I can arrest all the believers and bring them back here.
Now you're talking.
Saul set off for Damascus with the blessing of the high priest. He traveled with a group of men to arrest the believers they found. After days on the road, they neared the city.
There it is.
We'll make it by lunch.
No, we must take time to pray.
As he did 3 times every day, Saul stopped and turned to Jerusalem to pray, certain God was on his side.
Dear Lord, help me to catch every single one of those despicable Jesus people.
Suddenly, a light more brilliant than the midday sun blazed down around Saul. He staggered, fell to the ground, squeezing his eyes shut against the glare.
Saul, why are you opposing me?
Saul gasped. It felt as though the whole earth shifted beneath him.
Who are you, Lord? I am Jesus. I am the one you are opposing.
The men around Saul stared in horror and confusion, unable to speak. They could see no one, but heard a sound, perhaps like a roar of thunder.
Now get up and go into the city. There you will be told what you must do.
Saul reeled. He struggled to his feet and finally opened his eyes. He saw nothing, only darkness.
What's happened?
You tell us. We saw the light, and you fell, and this sound, and then you said...
I can't see.
What?
I can't see. I've been blinded.
That's not good. Here, take my hand.
Saul grasped the man's hand and shuffled a few steps forward.
Who are you talking to?
I think it was Jesus.
You heard Jesus?
I heard Jesus.
Saul's companions led him into Damascus, where he stayed at the home of a man named Judas on Straight Street.
Want something to eat?
I'm not hungry.
Or water?
Not thirsty.
For 3 days, Saul wrestled with himself and God. He'd come face to face with the very man he knew was dead, but discovered that Jesus was very much alive. Now blind, Saul was forced to see everything in a brand new light.
It is amazing how once we begin that process of following Jesus and we meet Jesus and we begin following him, how things that are happening here on this earth, they sometimes begin to make a little bit more sense. And that's what Saul experienced when he met Jesus. And that really leads us to our bottom line tonight. So if you don't take anything else out of what we've talked about tonight, whether you're a 252 age young person or a parent or a grandparent, if you don't take anything else out of what we've talked about, we would encourage you hopefully to get this bottom line, which says that knowing Jesus changes the way you see everything. And for Saul, that was certainly the case. When he met Jesus, something changed. And of course, he goes from being one of the great persecutor of first century Christ followers to possibly the greatest first century Christ follower. And it happened when he met Jesus because it changed everything. And so we would encourage you, that bottom line, so very, very important. And we are thrilled that you took the time to watch with us for our 252 school-age kiddos and our parents. Thanks for watching. Now, don't forget, if you picked up a kid pack yesterday morning at church, at Stuttgart Harvest Church, you should have some small group information. And we would encourage you right now, when we close this out with our 252 age kids, we would encourage you to take that small group information that you received in your kid pack and as a family, spend some time working on that together. That would be what we would typically do in our children's worship experience in 252. We would have our large group time together, which is what we've just done, and then we would break into smaller groups and we would have those applicatory activities. So I would encourage you as a family to do that, or if you received a digital copy from me today, go ahead, grab that, take some time. If you do not have that small group information, whether you were not at Stuttgart Harvest Church yesterday or you did not request a digital copy, I cannot encourage you enough to get that every week, because that's really what connects everything that we talk about each week, and that's really what brings it home. And what a great opportunity for you to connect as a family than to watch this large group information together with us and then jump over into the small group stuff. So I encourage you, if you didn't get that, try to get that every week, because it is a big part of what we do here at Stuttgart Harvest Church. Now, we'll let you know that we are getting very close to phase 2 here at Stuttgart Harvest Church, when we're going to be once again having our children's worship experience, both 252 and First Look. We're getting very close to having that together, probably in a few weeks, so we'll be keeping everyone updated. But don't forget, Sunday mornings at 10:30, we are meeting here live at 607 South Park Avenue. So if you don't have a health reason that keeps you from being in these social situations, social settings, I mean, I would encourage you to come on out and let's worship together, face to face, mask to mask, and we'd love to see you. 10:30 Sunday mornings, and again, the children's worship, it's going to be back live pretty quick. So 252 kids, thanks for watching. First Look, guys, you guys hang tight, because in 30 seconds, we're going to be starting our First Look time together. But for our 252 kiddos, get on that small group stuff, and we'll see you guys next week. And I am going to... not. That is our topic in First Look for the month of June. Our memory verse comes from the Gospel of John, and he told us that these are written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, which connects us to that bottom line. I can believe in Jesus. You say, how can I believe in Jesus? Because somebody named John, who was his best friend, I mean, that's pretty crazy, right? To be the best friend of Jesus. Somebody named John, Jesus' best friend, wrote down everything that happened in the end of his life, the last 3 years of his life. He wrote it down, and he told us all about it. He wasn't the only one to do it either. A man by the name of Matthew, a man by the name of Mark, a man by the name of Luke. They all wrote down about the life of Jesus. And because of that, we know what Jesus did. We know when he was born. We know the miracles he performed. We know what he said. And we know how he died. And we know that 3 days later he came back. And that's really our story tonight. We're talking about, it's kind of the Easter story. But it's when Jesus was killed. And then 3 days later, he came back. And because of that, I can believe in Jesus. Just like you guys, just like our preschool age First Look kiddos. You can do that as well. You can believe in Jesus because of what he did. And we can know what he did because it was written down by some of his very, very best friends. We've got a really fun Bible story for you guys tonight. It's all about Jesus and all about what we might call the Easter story. So I'd encourage you, families, mom, dad, sit down, get comfortable, and watch this story about a real event that actually happened about this man by the name of Jesus, who we can really believe really lived, really died, and really came back 3 days later.
Just follow me through. Hoo, hoo.
Follow me through. Follow me through. Who? Ollie's got a Bible story for me and
you. Hello, friends. I'm Aisha, and welcome to my cupcake food truck. Do you want to see today's special? Ta-da! They're my whole lot of love cupcakes. I made them because today's story is about someone special who loves us so, so much. If you're ready for a story, on the count of 3, yell, "Tell me a story." 1, 2, 3. Tell me a story. Today's amazing true story is about someone very special who did something only he can do. If you think you know who this very special person is, I want you to shout out his name. Yes, Jesus! Jesus is the very special person, and I'm going to tell you about the most amazing thing he ever did that only he can do. God sent his son, Jesus, to show us how to love each other and to be our friend forever. Wait, where did the heart go? We might need to play I Spy to find it. Get out your pretend binoculars and let's look for it. Ready? Tell me when you see the heart. I spy with my little eye a heart. And look, it's showing us that Jesus taught us how to love others by being a good friend. Wait, where did it go? Let's look for it. Ready? I spy with my little eye the heart! Right there! Good job, everyone! And look, the heart is showing us that Jesus was a good friend to people who were different than him. Not again! Where did it go now? Let's look for it. Ready? I spy with my little eye the heart! It's showing us that Jesus was a good friend to everyone, even people who made bad choices. Jesus was a friend to everyone. One day, a very sad thing happened. Some angry people took Jesus away and hurt him so bad that he died. Jesus' friends buried him in a tomb and rolled a big stone in front of it. Jesus was gone, and his friends were very, very sad. But on the third day, Jesus did something that only Jesus can do. Jesus came back! Jesus is alive! Yes, Jesus is alive! Say that with me. Jesus is alive. One more time. Jesus is alive! We know Jesus is alive because people saw him and talked with him. Then they wrote all about it so we can know and believe that Jesus is alive. Did you like the story? If you did, give it 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Oh, hey, Ollie. Tell me, who can believe in Jesus?
I can believe in Jesus. Yes, it's true. Now let's hear it from you. Tell me, who can believe in Jesus?
I can believe in Jesus. That's the truth, friends. You better believe it. See you next time. Bye.